Hello, everyone, and welcome to Kilowatt, a podcast about electric vehicles, renewable energy, autonomous driving, and much, much more. My name is Bodie, and I am your host. And on today's episode, it's going to be short. A couple different reasons for that. One is I have to put my cat down today, so I'm recording at 6 o'clock in the morning so I can make sure to be there at 7:45 for the appointment, which is a bummer. The other reason it's going to be short is there just wasn't a lot of news to choose from. And so we have a fix for that because Allison and Steve Sheridan are so kind. They continue giving me content when they were at CES. I genuinely have no idea how they are able to get all of this content. I got maybe 8 interviews total when I was at CES. They got, I don't even know how many. I think they've given me 8 interviews to this point. And Allison has a lot more on the NosillaCast. So I'm going to encourage everyone to go listen to the NosillaCast, go subscribe, and we'll talk about that a little bit later, but I'll make sure to put a link in the show notes. All right, let's get into our EV news. I want to start off with a correction, and Allison pointed this out to me yesterday. Last episode, I said that BP Pulse was going to order 1 million superchargers, V4 superchargers from Tesla. What I should have said was they were ordering $100 million worth of V4 superchargers from Tesla. And if you don't know who BP Pulse is, that's British Petroleum's EV charging side of the company. All right. I think what we're going to do here is we are going to do our Tesla news first because we don't have very much Tesla news at all. Just 2 stories, and then we'll move on to our EV news. Elon said on X that he thinks the Tesla Optimus robot would cost less than half of what a Tesla car costs, which is a pretty wide range when you think about it, because a Tesla car could cost anywhere between $40,000 and $160,000. So someone on X asked if the price would be around $25,000 to $30,000 to kind of get some clarification. Elon said that it would be even less than that over time. We will see. I would feel comfortable paying between $14,000 and $20,000 for a robot that could do all of my housework, that would do all of my yard work, and would also do all of the cooking that I didn't want to do. I actually enjoy cooking. I don't enjoy the other things. But it would have to be like flawless and work every single time. I'm not gonna buy something hoping that it will work, and all it will do is vacuum and it can't walk upstairs or downstairs. That's not something I'm interested in. Next up, full self-driving version 12.3 acts more like a human driver, according to some. So, according to the article I read, it makes riskier choices at times like a human would, such as turning in front of oncoming traffic with tighter gaps instead of waiting excessively. So I have experienced this with older versions of FSD. For example, I was in my oldest car with her boyfriend, and they were showing me some of the new features, and we came up to a intersection, 4-way intersection with a light, and it's a busy intersection, and we needed to make a right turn. The full self-driving would not make that right turn, even though it was safe. It just was really hesitant to do that. So we were like, you know what? Let's go around and do it again. Second time, it did the same thing. And they were trying to show me something specific, and I don't remember exactly what it was. So we went around a third time, and the third time we went to that same intersection, it was much busier. And then the car decided that it was like not at full speed, but at a very fast speed, make that same right turn. The point of that story is to say is that in none of the cases, in the 3 times that we tried to accomplish this task, did the car act like it was a human. It did not act in a way that any of us, and there's 3 people in the car, would have expected it to react. So apparently version 12.3 is more human-like, so it would react in a way that you would expect. And that's good because you don't want to be surprised as the quote unquote driver. But also there's a certain expectation from other drivers on how you're going to react in certain situations because we've created social norms when it comes to driving. So anyway, moving on with this, FSD 12.3 is better at detecting pedestrians and obstructions. There is still some issues with critical disengagements related to the system not properly recognizing or handling things like closed roads. But overall, it sounds like version 12.3 is a big improvement, which is what you want to see when you have software. You don't want to see degradation, you want to see improvements. All right, let's move into our EV news. Rivian is shutting down their Normal, Illinois factory from April 5th to April 30th for retooling. The whole purpose of this is to reduce production costs and increase production rate. They're going to increase the production rate by about 30%. And I don't know if we'll see this or not, but I'm hoping that we see the change to the NACS connector on Rivians at this time. I could be wrong. Like that's nobody's even reporting that. That's just a me thing. I'm really hoping we see that. Solid-state battery developer QuantumScape has delivered prototype Alpha 2 cells to automotive OEMs for testing. According to QuantumScape, the Alpha 2 cells are more energy dense than the Alpha 0 cells thanks to a higher cathode loading and more efficient packaging. I would hope so. The OEM customers are going to test the performance parameters and reliability ahead of the release of QSE-5, which is this is what Alpha 2 will eventually turn into. So they're going to have some build samples of QSE-5 batteries in 2024. When I first started this podcast, solid-state batteries, which don't have a liquid electrolyte, that's why they're solid-state. Solid-state batteries were like the holy grail in battery technology because they're less likely to catch on fire. I know a few weeks ago we had Dave Mullen of Mullen Automotive on, and he said solid-state batteries don't catch on fire. That is not true. Anything with energy in it can catch on fire, but it's much less likely to catch on fire with solid-state batteries. And then solid-state batteries, they don't have as much of a charging curve, so you can charge to 100%, and there's not as much degradation in that battery, but also that charging curve that you get with our standard lithium-ion batteries that we have now is it goes really fast to about 80%, and then it's really slow to get the rest of the way. It's not quite as dramatic with the solid-state batteries. They can be fully charged more quickly. And then finally, the batteries can be much smaller and lighter and more energy dense, which we all know for an EV, that's really important. So if QuantumScape can make a solid-state battery work, that's huge. Speaking of batteries, GM's in talks with CATL to license the battery company's more affordable LFP battery technology. If the deal moves forward, GM and CATL will actually build a factory in North America. Last episode, we talked a little bit about Stellantis laying off around 400 employees. Well, it's looking now like Stellantis is offering voluntary layoffs with the folks in their Fiat plants in Italy. Stellantis has signed deals with the unions, so I don't fully understand what voluntary layoffs include, but I would guess that you can just volunteer not to work there anymore and you get some sort of severance package. Speaking of reducing the number of workers, Ford is reducing the number of workers in their Dearborn, Michigan plant, and more specifically, the plant that builds the Ford F-150 Lightning. F-150 Lightning sales have slowed. They only sold around 24,000 Lightnings in 2023. I figured there would have been a lot more than that, but I was wrong. Currently, Ford has 2,100 workers building the F-150 Lightnings. So 700 workers are going to remain at that plant. 700 workers will move over to build the Ford Ranger or the Bronco. And then 700 workers will either take a retirement package or they can be reassigned to another factory in Southeast Michigan. So it's good to know that these folks aren't necessarily losing their jobs. They have other opportunities to make money in different plants. It's sad a little bit that they are not selling as many F-150 Lightnings as they could. I wonder how much the dealers play into this, because dealers are overcharging for EVs by about $7,500, which happens to be what that IRA tax credit is, the federal tax credit here in the United States. But there are some dealers that are even, charging more than that over what the sticker price is. A Hyundai dealer was charging an additional $20,000 for the Ioniq 5N, which is the performance model of the Ioniq 5. And I'm sure that dealer has some justification as to why they're charging $20,000 more than it should cost. But from this consumer standpoint, my standpoint, it looks like greed, and I don't like it. Let's move on. Kia will start producing their EV9 electric SUV in the United States this May, which is very exciting. They're going to build it at their West Point, Georgia factory. And Kia expects that the U.S.-built EV9 will qualify for the full $7,500 tax credit in 2025. Not before that, in 2025. And actually what they said was by 2025, but let's just assume that it's in 2025. That way, you know what you're getting into. But the EV9 might be the first vehicle that qualifies for the $7,500 tax credit here in the United States from Kia or Hyundai or Genesis. I know that you can get the tax credit if you lease some of these vehicles. So, check with the IRS website and your dealer to make sure that that is the case. But this would actually qualify for the full tax credit if you bought it. There's different rules for leasing, and I don't exactly know why. But anyway, if you're looking for a really nice big SUV, the Kia EV9 is a good option. Man, I feel really wordy today. I feel like I have to say a lot of words to say something very simple. Maybe it's just because it's very early in the morning and I haven't finished my coffee, and I'm also slurring my words. And I swear to you, I'm stone cold sober. I'm just very tired. I had a very long night. Let's move on to our final story, which is all about Fisker. Let's start off with something you're probably not expecting, and that is Fisker misplaced millions of dollars worth of customer payments. So you paid for your car, Fisker lost that money. They have no idea where it went. They launched an internal audit that spanned several months to find these missing payments. And I don't even know if they found all of them. Some of the checks were not cashed at all, or some just weren't cashed in a timely manner. Some were just lost, which is a huge problem. We mentioned on a recent show that Consumer Reports recently bought a Fisker Ocean, and Fisker's actually went back and said, hey, we can't find the $68,000 check that you sent us. Can you send us another one? That's problematic. Heinrich Fisker is a really accomplished designer. He doesn't seem to be a very good CEO. And I'm not saying that to be mean or anything like that. He's had, I think, 3 automotive companies at this point, 2 for sure, and they have not worked out. And honestly, I don't want to talk a bunch of trash about Fisker or their team or Geeta Gupta Fisker. I have no desire to talk trash about anybody from the Fisker team. But when you're a new startup, you can't make these kinds of mistakes. You just can't. There's not a world where this is going to work out in your favor. These processes need to be in place so that you get every single dime that you are due. And if you don't put these processes in place, you are letting down your shareholders, you are letting down your employees, and you are letting down your customers. And I should say, if I haven't said it already, this was temporary. It sounds like they've found most, if not all, of the money, but still, that's an unforced error. All right, we have one more Fisker story. Fisker has reduced the price on some of their existing inventory, the 2023 models. You can now purchase a Fisker Ocean Extreme for $37,500, which is down $24,000. That's a insane price drop. You can get a Fisker Ocean Ultra for $35,000, which is down $18,000. And then you can get the Ocean Sport for $25,000, which is down $14,000 from the original price. At the moment, Fisker is currently sitting on right around $200 million worth of inventory that if they were actually able to get rid of it, sell it, that would put them in a slightly better financial position than they are currently. Would you purchase one of these Fisker Oceans? Email me, Bodie, BODIE, at 918digital.com. All right, next up, we have a clip from Allison and Steve Sheridan, who, again, were so kind to share their CES content with me. In this interview, Allison interviews the folks from PAC Motor, which is PAC Motor, about their electric motor for kayaks. And I'm not going to lie, I instantly like this product for one reason and one reason only, is I've been seeing a lot of content on TikTok with people being in their kayaks, like cruising around, and then a shark comes up and either takes a bite out of the kayak or bumps it or is just swimming around. I realize this device probably won't get you away from the shark, and it will probably irritate the shark to attack you more. But for whatever reason, if I was in a kayak in an area with a bunch of sharks, I would want something like this just because I'm a coward. So, yeah. So let's go ahead and listen to the interview. And then I have a special deal for you on the other end of the interview. So make sure to stay tuned.
Well, last night we learned about a portable outboard motor that was an electric motor for boats or for using as a scooter. Now I'm in the PAC Motor booth. I'm with Michael and Matthew Becker, who are going to tell us about a dual thruster motor control system for kayaking.
That's right. So we have a dual motor system for any kayak, one size fits all, and it actually fit on a paddleboard and canoe, anything like that. And if you wanted to put the paddle aside and just play around with the drone, there you go.
So I'm going to describe this visually too, because there's an audio audience as well. So it looks like it kind of clamps around the kayak, and then it has two bars that come down, each with little thrusters on the ends of those.
Yeah, that's correct. So we made it design-wise really easy to install. So within 5 minutes, you can expand the PAC motor, slide onto your kayak, and be ready to go. So we want it to be where you don't have to use bolts or screws into your kayak, so you don't have to actually alter your kayak at all. You can just attach it and uninstall it without any damage. And PAC Motor's joystick controlled. There's dual thrusters, so you can turn on a dime, and it's very fun to use.
Yeah, I was playing around with the remote control. It's just a little joystick. You just flip it around, and it's...
Yeah, you gotta give it a try.
Yeah, all right. Okay, let's see if I do it right, Steve.
See if you can do just one motor at a time.
Just one motor. That.
Slam it forward.
Oh.
Yeah.
So wait a minute. But everything I'm doing, they're all going.
So hit it to the right.
Okay.
That one will go forward. This one will go reverse.
Okay.
Maybe that turn.
I'm turning. Okay. But how do I do? You said I could do one motor at a time.
You got to go at an angle for that one.
Oh, that's the tricky one. Okay, I'm going to try to turn. This is great for the... Oh, there we go. There we go. Oh, look at me go.
You can actually feel the wind. It's like a fan one way.
Yeah. All right, cool. So just when you drop this down on top of the... Or you slide it onto the kayak, you said?
Yes.
Yeah, you slide it on the back of the kayak, but if you have a situation where you want it in the front, you can also put it into the front as well.
Okay, that's cool. So now it looks like this folds up pretty compact.
Right, and that's how we got the name PAC Motor, actually, because you can pack it up and put it in a backpack, and you can carry it on a plane or anywhere. It's okay to fly with.
I lifted it up. It's not that heavy. What's it weigh?
No, what's it weigh?
10 pounds, under 10 pounds.
I got more than that in my backpack today.
That's right, yeah.
Now, what about how is this powered?
It's powered with any 12-volt to 18-volt battery. And so we wanted to do that so that people could go to the store and buy their own battery, a marine battery, and hook it up with the leads, no problem. But we also sell a lithium-ion battery that's higher voltage. I give you a little bit more thrust.
Okay, so that's a rechargeable battery.
Rechargeable, correct.
Okay. And now that's kind of in a black box. Where does that go? You just throw that over the side?
Yeah, you can just throw it over the back of your kayak and you can strap it down. It's waterproof box, so if it falls in the water, it's totally okay and it floats.
The good thing is if you do throw it over the side, you'll be all right.
Oh, really? Hey, it's an anchor too. So does this box I'm seeing that you've got the 12-volt battery in, does that come with the device, or that's something you buy separately?
You buy that separately, yeah.
It's part of the product line. It's optional. Like you said, you can just stop at Walmart and pick up a 12-volt battery.
Could you put just a regular Walmart 12-volt battery in that?
Absolutely.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
So it gives you a lot of flexibility. Well, this is really nifty. What's your delivery date on this?
We're actually already in manufacturing now, and we have a batch being in transit to us now of 200 units. And we've already sold 200 units before that one on Kickstarter. So we're 500 units in right now, and we're getting more orders every day.
So can people buy them today?
Yeah, you can visit us right online, packmotor.com, and place an order.
And that's PACMOTOR.
No K, PACMOTOR.
All right, well, thank you both, you gentlemen. This was a lot of fun. This looks cool. I like it. I'm lazy. I think I'd like to do this.
Try it out.
Thank you, Allison.
What a cool interview. And I want to thank Allison and Steve for sharing their content with me. Now, I said that I had a special offer for you. Here is my offer. Go subscribe to the NosillaCast podcast. Send me a picture that shows that you're subscribed, and I will enter you into a drawing for a Kilowatt mug, a free Kilowatt coffee mug. As many of you know, that mug is absolutely priceless. So if you would like to win a Kilowatt coffee mug, go subscribe to Allison's podcast, NosillaCast. I'll put a link in the show notes, and send me proof that you did, and I will enter you into that contest for the coffee mug. So send a proof to Bodie, BODIE, at 918digital.com. And we will run this contest from, starting today. Let me look at my calendar here. And we'll do the drawing on April 9th. So you have, 9 days or so to get your 10 days to get your entry in. So go subscribe to NosillaCast, send me proof, and I'll enter you into the contest. All right, everybody, that is it for me this week. I hope y'all had a wonderful week. Next Friday, we have a really cool episode where I interviewed some very smart people. Just a little teaser for that. I think you're going to enjoy it. Anyway, I should say goodbye. Have a wonderful week, and I will talk to you on Tuesday. Oh, and just a side note before I let you go, we did not have to put our cat down today. I just wanted to tack that on to the end because I know I started off the show with that. She got some medicine. She got some fluids. She's resting comfortably. So just wanted to give you that update.